Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to talk about some of the volume 1s that I've read recently. I do like talking about volume 1s more than anything because it's definitely like a should I read this as opposed to I read volume 30 of this series and yeah, it's still pretty good. I definitely feel a lot freer when I talk about volume 1s because in my head volume 1 is fair game. You can spoil anything that happens in a volume 1, but when you get into like even the mid-teens, the 20s, like anything you say is going to be a spoiler. God damn it, cats! Just see. Sorry for the cats. They're very zoomy at the moment. Aren't you super zoomy? You say hello to the camera. Apologise for being super zoomy. I know I had said that I would try and put my September haul out as quickly as I could, but I've just not had the time. I'm filming this on the Wednesday to post it on the Friday. And it's over my lunch hour again. This is like, I need to structure my time better. I had such a nice backlog of videos, but I am fairly free this weekend and I am going to focus on filming more videos, including the September haul. And I call it the September haul because it's big. I've already pulled everything out and it's just stacked to the side over there and it is like watching me. Oh my gosh, the problem of using natural lighting is the lighting changes when the clouds move. Just before I get into the volumes, if you haven't already, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for lots of manga content. There's going to be some juicy stuff coming in the next couple of months. Like, I'm actually questioning I'll have so much stuff to film. It's gonna like, I'll be able to film so much stuff it'll probably keep me going till like March. Okay, so we have I think 10 volume 1s. Some of them I've read really recently, some of them I've read probably within the past few weeks. Depends what you'd call recent, I suppose. I've not actually read too many volume 1s. I tend to go through a binge of volume 1s or a binge of trying to catch up with my ongoing series, and recently it's been ongoing series. So the first volume on the stack is Seventh Time Loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. So when I ordered this and when it arrived, and even in the unboxing video I think is where I got this, I said that it was an isekai. It's not an isekai, she reincarnates but in the same world. It's actually a lot like Re:Zero, where she keeps reincarnating to the same point. So we start the series off and she is being dumped by her fiance, who is the like crown prince, I think. He's noble and he's like, nah, we're done, I'm gonna marry someone else. And she's like, oh shit, and she runs off and her parents disown her, but through a happenstance of events she ends up sort of becoming a merchant, and she becomes a very famous merchant before she dies due to a ongoing war. And when she wakes up, she is at the same spot where her ex-fiance was breaking up with her, and she's like, what is happening? And this happens a few times, and in every life she ends up sort of becoming something different and trying to specialise in something else. So she becomes in the first life she was a merchant, and then she was she specialised in medicine and herbs, herbalist I think, and she was a warrior in another one. She pretended to be a boy and became a soldier, a knight. I don't think they've said what she is. She's been in every life, but they're the ones they've said. So she's on her 7th loop, and she runs into this guy here who is a noble guy, or is he an emperor or son of an emperor? And he's like, turns out he's the guy that in all her previous loops actually started the war that she quite often died in. She's kind of decided that for this 7th loop she's going to try and live a chill, cushy life. She isn't quite sure how to do that until this guy proposes to her, and she's like, maybe I take this opportunity to do F all and chill. So she's accepted the proposal. She's moved into his country. He's really excited and happy. He seems completely smitten by her, and she's like, I just need to not die in whatever war he ends up starting. And that's pretty much the plot of volume 1. Very much enjoyed it because even though it isn't an isekai, it has everything I like of an isekai, which especially villainous isekais, where they have like, they know what's going to happen because like they've played the video game, or actually most of them they've played the video game, or they've lived it before. So like, this is kind of similar to I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, except instead of living multiple iterations, she's just reliving the same one. So I would recommend this. if you like villainous isekai, even though not technically an isekai itself. God damn it, Cat, you keep making me jump. Realised I didn't show any of the art. Some nice big ball gowns, and I think that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy that she's engaged to now. Okay, next we have Daughter of the Emperor. So this is a Emperor series, and it is full colour. I assume manhwa, because I think they've only been doing the manhwas in full colour. So this is an isekai. Our main character died in Japan. How sad. She is reincarnated as a baby to this like maniacal emperor who like kills anything and everyone, and like his first interaction with her as she's like born is to like put his hand around her throat, and because she's like actually an adult in her head, she kind of just sits there and is like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, she didn't cry. Okay, I won't kill this one. Apparently he's like, I don't need any heirs, I don't need anyone competing, so I'll just do off with any children I have. Basically, it's this like adult woman in the body of a baby trying to do what she can to not get killed by her dad, which is quite hard to do when you're a baby and there's not actually that much you can do. You can't fight back, you can't talk, you can't really move, but she's doing well so far. I think my only real gripe, I mean, it's a fine series. I don't think I rated it particularly high. It was interesting. It'd be interesting to see how it goes once she has grown up a little bit and she can talk and communicate with her dad. But what put me off a lot was what bothered me most, I think, was the art style of the baby. It doesn't look quite right. The proportions are all a bit weird. And I know baby proportions are weird, but I didn't like how it was drawn. It never looked quite right. They're obviously quite okay at doing like adult men. All the adult men look fine. Most of the adult women look fine too, though the faces are a little off in my opinion. But it was the baby. The baby's face just like never looks quite right. There was one particular panel that looked really bad. I can't find it. I feel really bad. I wouldn't recommend picking this retail. I would definitely try and find it discounted. I picked it up from Books Please, I think for about £10 after I used the 10% off code, 10 for me if you don't know what it is. I'm probably going to try and aim to pick up most of these from Books Please because I can get a nice discount, and they usually discount the volumes anyway. Also, I found like a lot of the colour was just really beige. Everything was beige, and I don't know. I didn't really like that. Having read Abandoned Empress, which is really quite vibrant and sparkly and lovely, this just felt a bit dulcet. Next we have Game Between the Soups Volume 1. I'm going to start off with, I didn't enjoy this. I didn't like it. This main character woman is obsessed with her job to the point that even during rumpy pumpy times will answer a call from work because yeah. Unsurprisingly, Guy there gets dressed, leaves, and breaks up with her, and she's like, I'm not surprised, all men leave me. And it's like, yeah. Then this new guy starts where she works and takes a liking to her and is like, shall we start seeing each other for fun times? And she's like, yeah, but we can't get romantic. And he's like, alright, or we end it as soon as we find someone we want to be romantic with. I can't quite remember. And it kind of came across a bit like Kaguya-sama, but much more adult. But also, there was a lot in the volume where they were trying to make each other jealous with other co-workers. So like, he would cozy up to some woman and she'd fall on top of some dude to make the other jealous, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Like, just don't. Just be honest with each other. And that really put me off. I don't like either of the characters, and I find that's really off-putting when you're trying to read a romance between characters. I just was not invested, did not enjoy it. I will, of course, keep picking it up, though. His Majesty the Demon King's Housekeeper Volume 1. I've had this on pre-order for so long, so long, and I was a bit disappointed. I think I was kind of hoping this would be like my replacement for Saviour's Book Cafe. It would be that sort of story, considering Saviour's Book Cafe is complete at 5 volumes and wrapping up in the new year, in English print at least. So I was kind of hoping this would be my replacement isekai nice romance, and I just found it a bit bland. I don't think it was, again, it didn't give me that spark that Saviour's Book Cafe did when I read it. I didn't get that, like, ooh, excited tingle. That sounds so wrong, Caitlin. Our main character, this high school girl that looks way younger than she actually is, gets isekai'd into a world that's really, really dirty. But that's fine, because she is obsessed with cleaning. She makes her own cleaning products, she's like heads up the cleaning activities around the school that she used to go to. She loves it, and she's somehow able to clean away this black gunk that like is magically can't be gotten rid of, because everyone relies on cleaning things magically, and there's been a curse that means people can't clean things magically, but if you clean things with like by hand, it does clean. So she's like in the kitchen teaching people how to clean grease stains off pots, and I mean, it's quite wholesome. I equally really enjoy cleaning, not to her extent. So that was kind of nice. It just wasn't what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a in-the-feels romance, and I didn't get that. There is probably going to be sparks between the Demon King in this household, if there hasn't been already. I think there has. Just not enough for me. My brain is different stories of ADHD and other developmental disorders. Oh, I've not taken the sticker off. Be really careful taking these Forbidden Planet regular 3 for 2 stickers off, because especially on 7C's volumes, it'll rip off the sheeny bit, the top level. What's it called? The sheeny bit on the volume. So I had seen this volume out and about, and I'd been unsure if I wanted to pick it up, but I did pick it up. It is a one-shot. It was an expensive one-shot. It is $13.99, and it is 7C's. So this is a manga written by someone with ADHD. Yeah. I'm an adult with ADHD and have children in the grey zone of developmental disorders. So the whole volume is lots of basically one-shot chapters talking about people and their experiences with a variety of disorders. What I felt reading this, which I wasn't expecting to feel, so I myself have some of the disorders mentioned in this volume, and I actually found it almost upsetting to read it, because a lot of the individual chapters and the experiences of the characters, it often will start from childhood and work their way up to an adult, and it's all the different things that they weren't able to do or they experienced that made them a bit different from the other people, and they didn't understand why, especially at the time, or they had problems with like teachers or parents. And there were a lot of the times when they were showing like things that the kids were doing, or as adults, the characters were doing, and I was like, yeah, I did that. I was like that too. And I don't know, it actually just made me a bit sad, but also it shouldn't have made me sad, because it is like, you're not alone. Other people are like this. Other people do understand. But it was just like, that's like me. Oh. That's almost disturbingly like me. I don't like this anymore. It actually took me about 3 days to read it, because I mean a lot of the chapters are quite text heavy. It's quite condensed. So I pretty much was trying to read like 2 or 3 accounts an evening, and then would like put it down and read something else. If this is a topic you'll want to read about, I would potentially recommend it, but I would also recommend reading some proper resources alongside it, because this is just sort of different people's accounts, and also accounts on how it was dealt with in Japan, which is going to be completely different to whatever your own country treats it as. I know some of the things they talk about in here is not the same in the UK with how they treat this sort of developmental disorders. I actually wasn't too sure if I was going to talk about this volume at all, because it is quite a heavy topic. Yeah, I didn't want to upset anyone. I don't think I could have upset anyone with what I said. I think I've been pretty chill and calm. Next we have Romantic Killer Volume 1. Now this is a series filled to the brim with controversy, before you even open the book. For those that do not know, Romantic Killer is a shonen series that has been published under the Shoujo Beat imprint. Now, the author themselves has come out saying that to them, they feel it is more of a shoujo series, but it is published in a shonen magazine. I say magazine because I think it's actually an online-only magazine, and this is it's a webtoon? It was a webtoon on that magazine. So a lot of people have been upset that instead of publishing actual shoujo, Viz have instead published a shonen under the Shoujo Beat imprint, and considering Shoujo Beat already had been suffering from a lack of love and care from Viz, it kind of just sort of was just another thing that showed that they don't seem to care too much about it as much. That isn't a topic I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about too much in this because damn, it gets heated. Just in case you're wondering why there's controversy around this print, that's why. So I actually read this last night, and it is a $13.99 series, which is really expensive with how thin it is, but the main reason for that is it is in full color. So the main premise is our main character is a high schooler obsessed with playing video games, eating chocolate, and playing with her cat. I feel attacked. She is then summoned by this like imp thing. She's like summoned by this imp thing who's like, the birth rates are going down and we need kids to cast our magic or something along those lines. So we need you to get jiggy or start actually seeking romantic companions. And she's like, no, I've got my video games, my chocolate, and my cat. And he's like, well, you're going to be put in a world that I can control, and I'm going to take those away from you and surround you with hot guys like one of those shoujo harems. And she's like, oh, okay, sure. She's then dropped back into her bedroom where her parents suddenly announce, we're moving to America for a couple of years because your dad's got a new job. We're taking the cat with us. They move 2 days later, so she's living alone. All her video game consoles have disappeared. All the stores nearby don't have any stock of chocolate. And she's like, well, what do I do? Then all these weird scenarios keep happening, which kind of throw her into the path of this hot guy that she goes to school with. Through a series of unfortunate events, all curated by this weird imp, he now has to live with her for a month. And yeah, they're getting close. He ended up having to stay a night because of a storm, and they play games and they had a great time together, and she's like, I don't want this. I don't want romantic. I want to just play my video games and have my cat. I miss my cat. And the imp is like trying to force them together into like a romantic or intimate scenario. We end the volume with her childhood friend appearing at the door to walk her to school, and she's like, I never had a childhood friend. And the imp's like, yeah, I made him, or he thinks you are. I'm not too clear. So now there's like 2 dudes kind of competing for her affection, it looks like. Personally, I found it a bit iffy. I don't like the way it was saying like video games are for children. You'll never find romance if you play video games. You focus too much on your cat and chocolate. Like who cares if you just want to live your life playing video games, eating chocolate, and loving your cat? That's an okay way to live if that's how you want to live. And so many derogatory comments about video games because I play so many video games. Like my partner and I play video games together. Like we play Final Fantasy 14 like every night, and we do runs and we do stuff together. We do dungeons and raids. We play Mario Kart together. We play lots of video games together. And that she shouldn't be eating chocolate because she'll then get fat and she'll get acne and no one will want her then. And nah. So yeah, it is complete at 4 volumes, but damn, do I feel iffy about it? Like, even I'm just gonna ignore this, like, a little bit at the top here, and yeah. Next we have Rooster Fighter Volume 1. If I was to describe Rooster Fighter in one sentence, it is One Punch Man, but he's a very serious rooster. I actually don't think there's much else to say about it. For some reason, there are these monsters that keep appearing around Japan, and it's more, actually, they're not really monsters. It's like a regular person sort of experiences like anger or grief or something, and it mutates them into a monster, and then like people have to beat them up and get rid of them. This Rooster lost his sister to a monster, and he is now seeking vengeance. He's trying to hunt down this monster to kill it, to seek vengeance for his sister. It's just like so badass. It is really funny. It's very serious, but really funny because of how serious it is. And I'm just going to say, warning for an explicit panel, but we get a really weird bit where he like bangs a chicken and then like leaves, and he's like, oh, what does he say? I was born to wander. You're a rooster. But there really isn't much else for me to say. It just sort of, there's about 3 or 4 chapters with a different monster appearing in each of them, and there's just sort of, it's so good. It was really good. I really, really liked it. I love this sort of dumb, very serious, fighty kind of humor series. Okay, our next volume is See You Tomorrow at the Food Court. This is a one-shot. I originally saw a lot of people say that this is a GL series. It's not. It's not a GL series. There's maybe one bit towards the end which maybe people misinterpreted, and that's what made it GL, but I'll get to that in a minute. The premise of this is 2 friends, 2 unlikely friends. One is a nerd obsessed with her mobile gacha husbandos, and the other is I can never pronounce it correctly, Garu? A gal? They became friends and then went to different schools, so after school they meet up at the food court for the train station that they go home from. They meet up at the food court and they just chill and they chat, and that is the premise of the story. They're all quite short chapters. It is quite episodic, but it's only 1 volume, and it's super lovely. Just something happens and they chat about it. It's just like 2 good female friends hanging out and chatting. I don't think you see too many female relationships quite like this one. This one made me actually relate to a lot of the female relationships I've had with my friends. I think a lot of them I read in manga often feel kind of superficial, or there's something in the story that means the bond between the characters is a lot more aggressive, dramatic than maybe just regular people. Like, there's fighting and there's death and all that sort of jazz, if that makes any sense. I really did enjoy this. I would recommend this as like a slice of life one-shot. There was a bit towards the end where, to try and scare off a guy, I think, they pretend that they're currently dating each other, and they kind of talk about if they were to date someone, they'd like to date someone like their friend. I wonder if that's what people have picked up on as making it a bit GL-like, but no. As someone with... No, I didn't feel GL vibes off that at all, to be honest. It would actually be kind of neat if this series continued on, but I also kind of like that it's wrapped up in 1, and that's it. I did really like it. Succubus and Hitman, Volume 1. This is a plastic wrap series. It is not ghost ship though. Does ghost ship only mean like sexually explicit? Because this isn't horrendously sexually explicit. It's just really gory. Actually, there is a lot of bare boobs. I don't know, I think bare boobs are quite like common nowadays in manga. Fortunately, unfortunately, depending on how you look at it. So in this series, I'm trying to think how to explain it. So this guy kind of died-ish. So the body is... oh my gosh, I don't actually know how to explain it. So this guy, his name is Shuya, I think. And he died. And at the same time, another guy died. And they both made a contract with this succubus wherein she ate his soul, and then the soul of the other guy went into his body. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. So the first guy, so the soul of the guy who went into this body was killed by, I think, Yakuza, or some guys broke into his house, raped his mother, killed her in front of him. I think they kidnapped his sister and then killed him. So his contract with this succubus is to try and find out the names of the guys who did that so he can enact revenge. As part of his contract, he has to collect souls for her to eat or send on to hell or something. She kind of decides who it is that he needs to go and kill. Usually, I think pretty much so far it's just been like really bad people because their souls are worth more. Think like mass murderers or people who do lots of murdering, or yeah, there's actually been mostly murders, haven't there? Yakuza people. That's kind of the premise. He's trying to find out who killed him and attacked his family, and as part of doing so, he has to collect souls for her. But also, he has to try and live the life of the guy's body that he's now living in. So like, they've claimed that he's got amnesia because of this accident. So his sister was like kind of onto him because he didn't remember anything, of course, from before because he wasn't the same person anymore, and he's just like trying to learn everything he can so he can live as this person. I did actually quite enjoy it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I thought it was going to be a bit shit. Actually, it was alright. There is a lot of boobage and there's a lot of gore. I was going to show those pages, but that's not too safe. Let's pick some safe pages. Kind of just got an action scene there. He's breaking through a window, looking badass with all his guns. Quite interesting. I don't know how long it's going to run for, if like his end goal is to find these 4 people and he's already tracked one of them down in volume 1. So I depend, will they drag it out or not. Our final volume is Why Rayleiana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. So this is another coloured Yen Press series, a lot more vibrant. It definitely reminded me a lot of Abandoned Empress. So I think I did have to like flick through it because it's actually been quite a while since I read this one. I don't know why I picked this one to talk about. So our main character has been isekai'd. Has she been isekai'd? Yeah. And she's been isekai'd into a novel this time, not an anime game. And she knows her character is supposed to die at the hands of her fiance. So she is trying to find a way out of that marriage proposal, and the fiance's like, no, it's fine, we're good, and she's like, no, I need to leave. And so she ends up blackmailing this guy into a sort of fake proposal, fake engagement. Is it fake? So she can get away from the guy that's potentially going to kill her. Because she's read the novel, she had a whole bunch of dirt on him, and he's like, okay, you're interesting. Now I'm in love with you. This seems to be a common thing with these sort of series. Yeah, I'm not actually too sure if too much else has happened. It was just, she's trying to hide away and just stay safe, and he's like, no, you're my fiance now. Act like it. Another series that I am going to stick to picking up from Books Please because they're pricey. That was all of my thoughts on these volume 1s. Oh dear. just throw them on the floor. I would love to know what you thought. Please comment down below. Did I tempt you by any of these? Did I put you off any of these? Do you like this kind of video? I never quite know what kind of manga wrap-up recommendation videos to do. So I kind of like to go for the volume 1 ones. Volume 1 ones. Because it's like, gets you into the series if that's what you're interested in. A first impression, I guess. Or are there any series in my collection you'd like me to review, like more in depth? I did my Kaguya-sama one like 2 years ago, and I keep meaning to do more. I've had like 5 scripts written and I've just not done anything with them because it makes me really nervous to do a review video because there's information that you need to get right. And what if I get it wrong? I should just ramble on like I am right now. Someone might watch it. God, the cats went to sleep. Yes, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for lots of my content. Also check out my social media links found down below, especially that Dudettes Discord server. It's been popping recently. We're having such a great time. But yes, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye!